Well, Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff that went through. From Atari to Shrek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they're feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers, toys that twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passion and both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get told. Talking Ghostbusters and Proton Packs, toys in the box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rocks. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
Remember those Christmas mornings of old when you'd get a toy in a box, the toys in the box?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did you have a favorite as a child?
Gosh, there were so many.
Was it one of those
Well,
Spider-Mans?
No, I think because sometimes it was like big boxes that were, real exciting. So like the Death Star playset, the Atari 2600.
Oh.
Stuff like that. Yeah. The AT-AT.
Cool. How about you, Netter?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Toys in the box on Christmas morning.
Oh, well, I got more because I was a girl, so I got more dolls and clothes.
Were they in a box?
Not really. Because
Okay.
even my Barbie was a hand-me-down from my older sister.
Okay, the reason I bring all this up is because in the title song, it says we talk about various things, and one of the things we talk about is toys in the box. So I thought this would be the appropriate time, especially around the holidays, So I'm just saying. Welcome, everybody, to the Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli.
Hello, hello.
And this is my other co-host, the Geezette, Netter of Netters Network.
Good evening.
And here we are, kind of the post-Christmas... I wouldn't say it's funk, would you? I think we're still rather jolly, right?
I would like to think so, yeah.
Okay, but
and if we're not, we just drink.
No, that'll happen when the Netflix Warner's deal is finally finalized. That's when I'll be just.
Right.
I'm terrified, man. I guess we'll find out in the new year. I don't even want to think about it. Okay, but welcome everybody to Geeky Geezers, and let me say hi to Big Al, who I guess is first. I will be on this coming Friday with him on his channel. We were going to be doing Robin of Sherwood episodes. I guess the third and fourth episodes of season 3. And that should be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, I think. Double check on that. But welcome, everybody. Me and my monkey, 735. You were on to
Good
make
to
us
see you,
talk.
me and my monkey. I know you can't stay, but thank you so much for stopping in. It's always great to see you in the chat.
As long as it's not a chimpanzee. Favorite Marx Brothers movie, Ender's Public Domain. Okay, that was you. Thank you, Netta.
Yeah.
See you in the chat. Chat is now open to everybody. That was me, not him. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Jessica Hardo, welcome. Let me see. Deleted scenes, welcome. And I remember with the Space 1999 Eagle transport primarily due to the large box size. I got a hand-me-down of one of those, actually. You know, I think that came with the Death Star set. I'm like, I don't remember this from Star Wars. That's what I was thinking as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, came with the Death Star place that I inherited. Yeah. Christmas not over until Epiphany, January 6th. Well, I don't know. People might never. They're tearing everything down. We were going to try to look at the Christmas lights recently. It's like everything's down already. It's like, come on, leave it up for a little longer. Netter's Network chat is now open. Oh, wait. Never mind. I actually can say tonight, Lynn Greenwell, welcome. We have many an interesting topic to discuss tonight, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And Jonathan
what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about the good old days, and I guess we're going to bring up our presentation.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I forgot I got to do that.
Oh,
okay. Lay down on the job.
There we go.
There we go. Oh, let me.
Pay cut.
Oh, I got to go. No, I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so here we go. I keep hitting things. Okay. And for tonight's good old days,
this is what happens when I leave you in charge of a button. Gosh, I love this movie. I'm telling you, and God Created Woman. It's been remade, I don't know, a couple of times. Like
Rebecca De Mornay was in one of them, right?
Which I love Rebecca De Mornay, but honestly, the movie itself not nearly as good as this one.
The 1950s original, which I decided to watch this afternoon. I had time. I'm like, you know what? I better educate myself. And man, that the English they spoke back then, I could not figure out hardly anything they were saying. But I assumed just based on what they were doing is about running a boat shop, right? And they were, boat cleaning services. And no,
yeah,
I'm kidding. It has subtitles, French. Okay.
1950s, Saint Tropez, France. Knowing what she wants, Foxy Juliet Hardy, an 18-year-old orphan, and it's important that we say 18 years old, right? Taken in by a strict, moralistic couple, is the talk of the town. Spending her days working in a small bookshop and her nights dancing the cha-cha at the local nightclub, Juliet dreams of leaving her fishing village with Antoine Tardot. Yeah, I know. A handsome shipyard owner interested in giving in to the romantic advances of the would-be sugar daddy and millionaire shipping tycoon Eric Carradine. At the same time, Michel, Antoine's sweet and sensitive younger brother, endures insults, hoping to make statuesque Juliet love him. Now, 3 men vie for her affection, but the undecided heart searches for an escape. Can beautiful Juliet make up her mind? I got to tell you something. This movie, I was pretty. It's this one of the interesting factoids about this movie. I mentioned Saint Tropez. And this film actually gave that resort a huge business boost. Turned it into kind of a fashionable... Saint-Tropez. Whatever. I'm not real good with French. You got to know that. I wasn't really listening real close to the people talking when I was watching this particular movie. Yeah. So anyway, you were going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Boomer.
No, it's fine. And welcome, Geek Flag. But yeah, we were talking about this, and yeah, okay. This is this is her when she's all tousled after the boat caught on fire. And
yes.
There's looks like a steamy scene that was cut from the movie because of the time. Of course, this movie still got into a lot of trouble at the time it came out. But yes,
this came out in the early 50s, so it was considered. Well, I mean, the church wanted it outright banned.
Yes, it did. Yes,
in
the United States, it practically was. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a year or two after the movie Baby Doll. So
That's another one
there
they
was
hated.
a lot of sensitivity about this. I mean, and let's face it, there's nothing particularly lewd about that image you have up there, but I don't know. You seen that belly button? That's a no-no, right?
Plus, it's a kind of a shipwreck, so they
Right.
kind of washed ashore. Now, let me see though, but I watched it for the first time today, and I'm thinking this woman is trouble. This Julia is trouble.
So you had never seen this one before. This one is kind of a classic.
That's
This
why I
one,
thought I'd better watch it, because I'm going to sound ignorant of my film, because this is the sort of thing I
I've
might have
never
watched
seen
in
it,
film
so
classes.
there we go.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Is this
Well,
considered
this
French New Wave, or is this prior to French New Wave? Maybe it's prior to that. I don't know. But yeah, it's probably prior to French New Wave. That was a big film movement in France. But,
yeah, I don't know
it might have been proto.
What time period that would
60s,
encompass.
early 60s. Yeah.
What I can tell you is that this film does appear as part of the Criterion Collection. It's specifically Spine number 77.
That's how I found it, because it was on HBO Max as part of, they have some Criterion.
Aha, there you go.
That's how I checked it out. And there's sort of like, I don't want to say a love triangle. There's like 3 men interested in this woman in this movie. There's Antoine, who doesn't treat her too seriously, which she figures out by overhearing him in a bathroom, basically, that was he talking about having to marry the niece of somebody who was working for her. So have your fun with her. I guess she's the village bicycle. Everyone has the ride, that sort of thing. Which exactly. I don't know if she has this reputation deserved, but apparently everyone in town just thinks that she's a woman of easy virtue.
It does seem to be implied that she is not as promiscuous as everyone believes her to be. They make certain assumptions about her.
Yes.
Simply based on her appearance.
That's what I assume too, because I'm like, well, we don't really have any evidence of her. Like, she likes to dance.
Right.
And
I think what's also very important is she is young, which of course, goes hand in hand with her being attractive, but it also there's a degree of immaturity. She doesn't know what she wants, so she needs to figure out what the heck she actually wants before she can truly go after it, right?
Well, here's the thing. I get the idea, everyone in this town, like, she's going to get sent back to the orphanage run by nuns, I believe, right? That she's I'm sorry, she has got to stay there till 21, because she's not taking the bookstore seriously, which is really a fancy newspaper stand. It's a periodical building. She likes to go out clubbing and stays out past midnight, that sort of thing. So I mean, what am I looking at here? I don't think I'm looking at anything that is that absurd for a woman in Europe. I mean, maybe in the 50s this was scandalous. I don't know, but it seems like by the time we get to James Bond era, this is more common just to see women out, getting to some trouble, maybe. But
there was certainly a push from the 50s into way into the 70s. This women's liberation concept, where women should be able to do whatever it is they want, and I'm not sure that that's played out the way that people expected that it would.
No.
But nonetheless, that was the trend at the time.
It's there's always give and take, I guess. You know what I want to make a point about, though, especially concerning the men in this movie? Is it possible? What's her name again? Brigitte?
Brigitte Bardot.
No, that's the actress. The character's name.
It's
another B, I think.
It's give me a second here.
Is it possible?
I'm going to say it wrong, I know.
Is it possible she's in love with both
Juliet?
brothers?
Oh, Juliet.
Is it possible she's in love with both brothers? That's where the trouble comes from.
Well, and this is part of why I say that there's a degree of immaturity here. And I don't care. I know this is a trope of romantic stories being torn between this one and that one. I'm sorry, that's a lack of maturity, and that has nothing to do with age, in my opinion. Know what you want, be able to evaluate which of these people is what you really want and go after it. Make your choice. Like my grandmother used to say, and I swear, hand to God, this is an exact quote: "Shit or get off the pot."
Yeah, well,
Grandma said that.
Oh yeah,
Little old
Grandma Mary. Grandma Mary. Oh yeah.
well, it reminds me of Felicity one season. If I'm gonna drag this out, and she was finally seeing a therapist, and because she always had trouble with Noel and Ben, right? Those were the two love interests on the show, and the therapist basically says the trouble is you want both Noel and Ben, which I thought was a weird revelation. I'm like, well, I guess that is possible, you know. So
Right.
So here we are, because I think she at some point she cheated on both of them with the other, but it was just anyway. Here is of course the middle brother, who is head over heels. Oh, I don't know. I to be that young again. I don't know. I can make you happy, and she's like, no, you can't. And she's actually warning him, which I thought was interesting, but
Right.
you know that probably just makes him want her all the more. And I know him and his family. They own what a shipping yard or like a very small shipping port, and like or boat port, and they don't want to give it up to this wealthy industrialist that wants to buy it from them for more than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to sell, and that's a thing. And this is kind of the middle son. And I get the idea that his older brother, what was it, Antoine, is a bit of a philanderer, maybe.
Right.
And he's more the straight-laced type, but he's fallen head over heels in love with her. And let me see. There's the wedding day. They do get married. And what I thought was interesting about Gesundheit.
Thank you.
I think he's not feeling well. Like they go up to the bed, like the family has a dinner all set out for them after the wedding. Kind of guess like the wedding dinner or whatever. And like she they go up to the bedroom and they do the deed. But to be fair, there's nothing really scandalous about this. They're married now. I mean, this is consummating their relationship.
It's not like they actually show it. They imply.
Well, even if they imply it though, they're married at this point. I mean, I know it's maybe they didn't wait for the night to set in before but I mean, it's and it's funny. She goes down afterwards and she says, "Okay, I'll have this, and this from the family dinner." Takes it back up to the bedroom, which I thought was funny, but I don't know. I mean, she's an orphan, so I don't know. And
bless you.
Did you feel bad for any of the characters in this movie? I guess that's what I'm asking, because you're the one that was going to talk.
During some parts of the movie, I kind of felt bad for her, but again, try not to be judgmental of the naive girl who. Thank you for the $2 super chat from Nate. God bless you.
There you go.
Thank you, sweetie.
But I don't have a great deal of sympathy for the men in this film, and I think that's by design. I think you're supposed to kind of see it more from her point of view.
Here's what I think. I think with this younger brother, I think what she's trying to tell him, I need passion, okay? I need you to be more passionate about me. You're not being passionate about me. I do love you, but you're not being passionate about me. Whereas Antoine, I guess, would be the more passionate, but doesn't love her in the way she needs to be loved. You understand? I'm getting my impression, because like even when she's like, "Oh, I'm tired. Okay, I'll let you sleep in it. I'll go to the bus." And I always says, "No, you're the husband. Tell her we gotta go." He wasn't doing that. Okay, so
and this is the eternal problem for guys, right? This is you get this all the time. They say one thing, they mean another, and you're supposed to know. And you'll even hear women say this. You've known me this long, you should know. It's a damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I don't do what you say you want, you get mad at me. But if I listen to you and do what you say, I'm supposed to know you mean otherwise.
And of course, there's all the whole contention too, where everyone's trying to talk him out of marrying her. You know, including the parents. I think I think he talks to the parish priest, says, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And it's like everyone's kind of giving their 2 cents on this situation, but he still marries her.
Right.
And, I just don't.
Which really does come down to my personal opinion of other people's advice. I have no problem with people giving advice, and especially on something as important as this. If you care about somebody, if they're in your family or whatever, you have an obligation to give your advice. But at the same time, they are the ones that have to live with their decision. So you then turn around and you support whatever decision they make, regardless of whether they take your advice or not.
Yeah. So, but she's young. I think that's what it basically boils down to. Maybe a little immature for her age, perhaps. At 18, yes. I mean, I had the impression that back in the 50s that women matured, men and women both, I think, matured faster.
I think we tend to look back at that time and expect that they did. I'm not sure that was entirely true. I think by the 50s, you were starting to see children starting to be a little bit more holding on to their childhood longer, being coddled a little bit.
Well, that's my point,
parents.
and I think as time goes on, that lasts longer and longer.
Yeah.
That's my impression.
Now there's people in their 30s that still haven't grown out of what used to be adolescence back in the 50s,
Stop wearing your pajamas to restaurants, please. Sorry.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Started. I saw it the other week. I'm like, dude, those are pajama pants.
Or in this case, stop wearing pajamas
teenagers.
to bed. I mean, that is mature, wow.
I wear pajamas to bed.
Yeah, well, she doesn't, obviously.
Okay. Oh, I see. In the case of this picture, well, that's it. But I mean, again, it's France. I'm not judging, and it's again, they are married at this point. I'm not. There's no scandal here, but I don't know. The mom said against it. I guess the father out of the picture. I think I saw him in one scene, or maybe it was like an uncle or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember a father.
Don't remember anyway, yeah, maybe he was passed on at this point. The sons are running the business. Oh, wait, I ran out of pictures.
But it's a great movie. Like I said, Criterion Collection. This is one of those movies I would say you need to see. It's a
lot of controversy on release. I think did get a lot of blocked in the States, but there's nothing. Here's what I don't understand, though. There is nothing clearly shown in this movie. Now, I think there is one scene where it's apparent that she had the affair with the brother, but they don't show anything. I think they show them embracing,
right?
And then you see her buttoning up in another scene. Now, obviously, adults can make the leap there, and
right,
and I think even the mom confesses, I don't know how the mom figured out that the older brother had done the deed with her. Did she overhear something? I don't know, but I don't remember either.
You've actually seen it more recently.
Well, no, I was watching it today because I felt, well, no, I mean, I took my history of film class at college, and it was.
I do also want to point out that, for all that we've been saying, talking about, controversy and, banning and stuff like that, it's got a PG rating. Keep that in mind, too.
Yeah, I have to watch Baby Doll next, though. That had, the actress in that.
No, that was, Pretty Baby.
Oh,
okay.
No, Tennessee Williams wrote it, but it was a movie. Hold on, who was in it? Give me a moment. I'm going nuts here. Give me one moment. All right, Baby Doll, and Carol Baker. That's who was in that, and I'm a big fan of hers. Because she showed up later in her career in a lot of these Italian movies, like at the late 60s, early 70s. She shows up in one called Baba Yaga, right?
Interesting.
And I'm like, you don't look like Baba Yaga at all. Carol Baker, you got a little bit of gray in your hair, which isn't fooling anyone. And I think she's going around like saying, like she appears to herself, I'll grant you anything you want to wish. And I'm like, you don't want me to say what I want you to grant for me, okay? 'Cause I'm sorry, Carol Baker's a very attractive lady, and even her. even in her 40s, she was showing these Italian movies, these scandalous like thrillers over there, which were rather good. And I'm assuming this got into trouble too, because I know that Hollywood sort of bent the knee to a lot of this pressure and came up with the Hays Code.
Mm-hmm.
Hitchcock would work around the Hays Code. If you look in those Hitchcock movies, you can see stuff that he snuck in,
Which is also
you're
why
concerned.
you to this day hear about coding in these movies.
Exactly.
And it, they're not wrong. It's very clear the intent of some movies and some scenes.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed this. Again, it's kind of bittersweet at the end though, because she and the guy, middle brother, do get back together, but I wonder, will it work out or not? Right?
Yeah, is the damage too much?
I think he'll forgive her. No, I think he'll forgive her.
Yeah,
if she stays loyal
enough to. Yeah.
I mean, they're both young. I guess maybe if they start a family early on, maybe this will all be washed under the rug. No, now I'm disturbed about whose kid it is. Never mind. Let's move on to.
Well, good point.
But unfortunately, we do have some news related to this movie tonight, because unfortunately, Brigitte Bardot has passed away. Screen siren Brigitte Bardot.
Later in life, I would apply the adjective based to this girl. I really, really would.
Yes, well, the mob, the woke mob, went after her. I think, because
they did, and they can all go F off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Screen siren Brigitte Bardot, whose portrayals of free-spirited ingenues made her an international sex symbol and the pride of France, and who turned her back on movie star in 1973 to become an animal rights activist, has died, according to French media and the Associated Press. Now, when you say that animal rights activist, I think someone who is left-leaning. But, of course, if you step out of line with whatever's set up, you then get brandished as something else.
Yeah.
Or it could be that maybe some of us can be left on some issues and right on other issues. Isn't that weird?
True.
That it doesn't fit conveniently. But let me get into this. She was 91. Bruno Jacqueline, the Brigitte Bardot Foundation for the Protection of Animals, told the Associated Press that she died at her home in southern France. He did not provide a cause of death and said no arrangements have yet been made for funeral memorial services. She has been hospitalized last month after a period of ill health. Leading tributes, French President Emmanuel Macron said Bardot and Boyle embodied a life of freedom and lived a French existence. Jordan Bardella of the far-right National Rally Party, which Bardot publicly supported in her later years, referred to her as a passionate patriot who represented an entire era of French history. Bardot's foundation paid tribute to her legacy on animal rights, from traveling to the Arctic ice floes to help baby seals, to lobbying for animal welfare legislation and securing convictions for perpetrators of animal abuse. I don't necessarily disagree with that. If you're abusing an animal, that's not cool. Her death comes 2 months after she underwent what her staff described in a statement to AFP as minor surgery for an unspecified ailment in October. Let's see. French feminist philosopher Simone de Beauvoir called her a locomotive of women's history and the most liberated women in post-war France in a 1959 essay titled Brigitte Bardot and the Lolita Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Am I allowed to say that other word on air?
I don't know.
French
it's a
press,
name. It's a proper name.
Apparently, it's showing up in certain files that got released. Anyway, there's some disturbing stuff coming out of that.
Oh, yeah.
But we can't get into that right now. French President Charles de Gaulle declared Bardot was a French export as important as Renault cars. Meanwhile, BB, as the French affectionately called her, went on to appear in more than 40 movies, including a handful of Hollywood productions, before retiring from acting at age 39. Well, that sounds like a great career, and then she went on to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. In 2018, at the height of the Me Too movement, Bardot said in an interview that the most actors protesting harassment in the film industry were hypocritical because many played the teases with producers to land the parts. Yikes!
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. She wasn't the only one that called it. I believe the exact quote was hypocritical and ridiculous.
Yes.
And she knew. She it's and let's face it, almost every woman. I always bring up the example of that bit from Mulholland Drive, where what's her name? I'm forgetting the
Naomi
actress's
Woods?
name. I don't remember now, but
No.
she's talking to the older woman about her history and backstory, and she's like, "Oh,
Coco.
sure, dear, yeah, Coco, right."
That's what I'm thinking of.
And she's like, "Sure, dear," and it's like she knows what's what. She's not buying the crap, and I always felt like Brigitte Bardot was the same way. She's like, you know what? You all knew what you were doing. You all benefited from it, and now you're going #me too. Wah wah. Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it too, girls.
Yeah, but rest in peace, Brigitte Bardot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing, more recently, well, not quite as. What I should say is it's become very topical now. But back in 2008, she was fined $25,000. That's in 2008 money, people, for claiming Muslims in France were destroying our country. Gee,
$2,000 for saying just an opinion.
25,000.
That's
in 2008.
Wow. Well,
she was on the front line of this all the way back then.
That's insane. That's I thought the French would have been more sympathetic to freedom of speech because they helped us out with the revolution, but I don't know.
La revolution.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I very much respected this woman, and I was kind of crushed to hear that she had passed. But
yeah.
91. That's respectable. That's good.
All right. Rest in peace, Brigitte Bardot.
Yep.
Oh, now we get into gaming. Yay. Anything left to say on Brigitte Bardot? Okay. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 developers really didn't want the game to have that name. The original Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which was released in 2004, is widely celebrated as one of the best role-playing games ever created. Did you hear me on that? Were you familiar with this game back in the day, actually? I don't know. You might have been.
I looked it over. I wasn't terribly impressed with the animation, and I saw some game footage of it, and I was like,
people loved it back in the day. The original, not the new one. Yeah.
I have to wonder how much of that was the brand recognition. Like the people that like everything that you slap the name Star Wars on. Looking at you, the acolyte. Well, but and I'm not saying that Bloodlines was anything on that level. I'm just saying that I was a huge fan of Vampire the Masquerade, the tabletop role-playing game. When I saw this, I just didn't feel like the tabletop role-playing game translated real well into what I kind of saw as a kind of railroady type of video game. Well,
I don't know. I mean, like it's okay. I just I know that back in the day, my brother had it. He was a big fan of it. It was a
okay.
It was it was. I want to say an early pioneer, I guess, in more the 3D style role playing games, and there were little things like you could go, like I think you had to. There's this one guy keeping body parts in his basement in one part, but he wasn't even a vampire; he's just some nut job, I mean, because I guess
which I think is a clever storytelling element, because it's like you expect all the vampires to be the monsters, only to find out what?
No, they're serial killers and other things.
Just like in the real world, there are serial killers and there are there are bad people.
But apparently this game has been a disaster. Apparently the people holding the Vampire Masquerade license, or at least for the game license, they made a big deal. They were going to do a sequel to Bloodlines. They then took it away from the studio that originally had it and gave it to a smaller studio that could keep the budget down, called the Chinese Room. And apparently it's considered a huge disaster. Some argue they only released the game because they got money on the pre-orders and they wanted to keep the pre-order money instead of having to refund it. That's why it got released. And It's
And
just
so it's as bad as you would expect under circumstances like that.
they made a big deal when this was announced a couple years ago. They were showing trailers for it. It looked like they got Christina Hendricks to play one of the vampires in the game.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Well, there have been.
I don't think she's in this game though. They may not. She might not be in the final product.
There has been a long line of games that had great voice actors, but the final product was horrendous.
Yes. The company backed off the angle that vampires descend from Cain because it's no inclusive other religion. Is that true?
If that's true, then screw them, because that's exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about. If you are going to throw out the lore from the tabletop role playing game that you're basing it on, then don't even call it Vampire the Masquerade.
Isn't Cain foundational to all the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam? Right? I mean, it's
yeah.
They all follow that, right? I think. I mean, I'm not positive about Islam, but I assume they have the Genesis story as well.
But I mean, that's like saying we're not going to mention Thor's connection to Asgard because that might alienate other religions. It's like, that's the lore of the story you're telling. If you don't want to tell the story, don't tell the story.
Yikes. Anyway,
and let's face it, the idea that Cain is the first vampire literally is made up by the writers of Vampire the Masquerade. That's not like it's some Judeo-Christian
it's what
from the Bible.
Did. Yeah, it's what they did in their own lore for the game. Yes. It's like how in the Command and Conquer games you had the Brotherhood of Nod. Remember those?
Now, I agree with... Yeah, exactly. I agree with Lynn. Personally, that was one of the details I liked about the Requiem. No one knows for certain what the origin is. I always took that as, regardless of whether or not Cain was the first vampire, that's their religion. That's their
lore,
belief
yes.
in mythology.
Yes.
I talk about Jesus, and you could say that's fiction. Well, I can't prove it, but that's the story, right?
Let me see here, though. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines developers really didn't want the... Okay, but anyway,
let's face it. That is a very low-hanging fruit type of title. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, it's a sequel.
They should have just made it Electric Boogaloo. I mean, for crying out loud.
Well, no, because they were arguing that they wish they could have just called it Vampire the Masquerade something else, and then people wouldn't have placed this expectation that it was a sequel to Bloodlines.
Well, there you go, yeah.
And I was watching some YouTuber, and he says there are some things in the game that are actually rather good. Of course, then later on he says, oh, no, this is the second game-breaking bug I've run into in this game where it crashed on him. So, I mean, it's just been a disaster. I'm going to try to say that I think the Chinese box probably were not experienced enough for this type of game. But,
hey, Chinese room should probably go work for Bethesda.
Maybe. We can't make Bloodlines 2. We can't make Skyrim, but we can make Dishonored. But you weren't hired to make Dishonored. You were hired to make Bloodlines 2. Right. Bloodlines came out at a really interesting period of game development years back, the same time as games like Stalker and Shenmue, when you could ship a really ambitious game that was full of bugs and holes, was totally flawed, but the ambition was really excited. Pinchback says you could get away with it now. You couldn't get away with it now. Trying to recreate that magic in a different environment felt wrong-headed. One of the reasons why they got away with bugs and holes in those games because no one had seen games like that before. These open world environment type games. At this point, we figure this stuff is old hat. I don't know. I just brought this up because I wanted to warn that apparently has 56 upvotes on Steam. This is not getting a good review. And this is yet another game that people had been patiently waiting on for years that ended up being a complete disaster. That's what I've heard. But anyway, so don't get Bloodlines 2. That's what I'm basically saying.
I won't be.
Hopefully this Hellraiser game turns out good. That's one my fingers crossed on. But.
Have we gotten any update on that? Because I haven't seen anything.
No, for all I know, they did the trailer. And it's going to be like 4 years before it comes out. I don't know. Actually, I think it's supposed to come out next year. That's what they said. Now Disney news.
Yay! We're getting another film based on the villain. to convince you that they're not really as bad as you thought they were. They were just misunderstood.
This is their character.
Yeah.
I don't think Gaston is in the original Beauty and the Beast fairy tale, is he? No, they made him up for the Disney version because they needed a regular villain in the movie as well.
Right.
Because Disney likes to have their villains, so they made up Gaston. Gaston kind of has become popular over the years, especially the Disney theme parks, because he basically he's always showing off his muscles and stuff, and he's always saying, "Yeah, you gotta do some push-ups." Like he'll taunt the guests and stuff.
Right.
Disney is hoping that audiences will want to be guests for a live-action Beauty and the Beast spin-off. The studio is developing Gaston, a feature based on the story's villain character. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. Plot details have not yet been disclosed for the movie that is still in early stages. You don't cast Henry Cavill in this role. What's the point? That's what I'm thinking. But Dave Callahan penned the latest draft for the live-action film after Kate Herrin and Briony Redmond worked on the previous one. Michelle Redgwin is set to produce. This is not sounding good to me. Adapted from a French fairy tale, the original Beauty and the Beast was a sensation. It hit theaters in 1991, becoming Disney's highest-grossing animated title at the time. Story focuses on Belle, a young woman agreeing to live with an arrogant prince who has been transformed into a monster and has a limited time to earn the true love that will break his spell. It won 2 Oscars from 6 nominations and holds the distinction as the first animated movie ever nominated for Best Picture. Richard White voiced Gaston in the animated film. The studio released Bill Condon's live-action version of Beauty and the Beast in 2017 with Emma Watson as Belle, Dan Stevens as the Beast, and Luke Evans as Gaston.
Right.
He's the one that was in Dracula Untold.
And it would be really smart for them to bring back Luke Evans for this so that you could claim it to be a sequel or prequel, I should say.
They won't do that.
Well, then they're
they're not going to do that. They're going to, but again, it's like, oh, this is the story you thought you knew about Gaston. This is your character.
Right.
This is not, are we going to get a story of how the mass control program was really misunderstood? Is that going to be their next project?
Right.
No. I mean, I don't understand. Disney has recently continued to prioritize live-action remakes of its classic animated properties. This includes a live-action take on Tangled being back in active development after THR reported in April that the film's progress had been paused in light of the Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot's live-action Snow White underperforming at the box office. Yeah, I heard about that. Since then, Disney had a massive hit with the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, while Barry Jenkins' prequel movie Mufasa: The Lion King has had a strong showing when it debuted late last year. I heard that wasn't good. The studio has had successes over the years with live-action spin-offs focusing on villains of animated movies. This includes 2014's Angelina Jolie-led Maleficent, highlighting the antagonist from Sleeping Beauty, and Emma Stone starring in 2021's Cruella as the villainous Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians franchise. How do you do something from Cruella's point of view?
Why? No, it's not how. It's why. Why do you do something?
She likes to make coats out of puppies, right? I mean, that's
right.
I don't think when Walt Disney made
which
that
makes
movie,
me think of that parody song from The Simpsons. See my vest, made from real gorilla chest.
I remember that. Yes, that's on. It's funny.
See
I
my loafers, former gophers.
there was a. I have songs in the key of Springfield, which on CD, which was all the songs from The Simpsons, and it came out a little after the songs in the key of X, and I think the whole reason was because I called it songs in the key of Springfield was that it was riffing on the X-Files CD that came out a little while ago, and it was all songs from the X-Files, like the Planet of the Apes musical was in there. Remember that? Troy McClure was in the Planet of the Apes music. Will Disney ever make a new animated film? Well, they do these new animated movies like they did Zootopia 2. Unfortunately, I know what you're saying. You're saying, will we ever get a traditionally animated Disney movie again? Probably not. People thought they might have found a sweet spot with this one short they did, which sort of had a 2D look, but was still 3D animated.
Oh, guys, you guys are going to be lucky if you don't start seeing AI-generated art from Disney at this point.
No. I have to say, too, Princess and the Frog was the last shot at that, because they did release that, and that was a traditionally animated movie, because they had stopped for a while, and they said, okay, let's try making one and see how it does. People seem to want them back, and then it didn't do well at the box office because it lost to Chipmunks the Squeakquel, the Chipmunks movie sequel. So it lost to that. So I don't know what to tell you. I'd like to see more traditionally animated Disney tales, but I don't think they're ever going to happen. I don't even know if I don't think they have the talent anymore for that.
Yeah.
Because you have to. This is drawing. I mean, doing this stuff on a computer is a different animal. I mean, maybe they could, but they'd have to rebuild a whole studio from the ground up probably to make that. I don't think they're gonna. Moving on to let's see here.
Moving on to? Oh God!
You're getting some of these stories we're getting tonight. I cut from last week's show because we had too many. But since it's been a dead news week, I figure okay. The only reason I bring this up is because Rian Johnson, I feel, has been dead silent about Last Jedi since it came out 8 years ago.
Yep.
And now finally he opened up his mouth because he had the new Knives Out movie come out recently, so he must have been asked about The Last Jedi. So I'm going to read to you his comments. Feel free to interrupt if I make something.
Well, I will make one note based on what you just said. I find it interesting every time he talks about Knives Out. He's asked about this. He is always going to be tied to this POS movie that he made for Star Wars, and that's what he's going to be known for. I hope he's happy that he's known for something that people hated.
This is the moment when you as an actor needed to put your foot down.
Right.
Because you are also part of the creative process here, and I'm sorry. Okay, Rian Johnson, director of Star Wars The Last Jedi, has said he anticipated and welcomed the movie's polarizing response and argued it would have been worse to create something afraid of shaking up the franchise. Speaking to Polygon, Johnson said Star Wars had a history of challenging fan expectations of where the saga story was headed ever since the series' second release, Empire Strikes Back. With its shock character deaths and fresh uses of the Force, this is something The Last Jedi certainly also did, while generating a wave of backlash from many of the franchise's most vocal online followers. Despite this, Johnson said he had intended to deliver a movie that shook the box. And is that the mystery box?
Well,
shook the box.
I would. Yeah, that's interesting because that could very well be a shot at J.J. Abrams too.
It might have been, and upended fan expectations rather than simply serving up something that handled the franchise and its audience with kid gloves. Something other entries in Disney's Star Wars sequel trilogy have been accused of. I don't know about that. I was hoping for that. I wasn't afraid of it per se, Johnson said. Having grown up a Star Wars fan, I know that thing where something challenges it, and I know the recoil against that. I know how there can be infighting in the world of Star Wars, but I also know the worst sin is to handle it with kid gloves. The worst sin is to be afraid of doing anything that shakes it up, he continued, because every Star Wars movie going back to Empire and onward shook the box and rattled fans and got them angry and got them fighting and got them talking about it. And then for a lot of them, got them loving it and coming around on it eventually.
Stop right there. Okay. So this is again the moron who this is basically he's repackaging his talk about subverting expectations. And I've said this before, gonna say it again. There are good ways to support expectations, and as a writer for a franchise, yes, you should be continuing to shake up people's expectations, but you have to be intelligent enough to know in what way that is good. And this guy is more of a troll who just wants to piss everybody off, and he thinks that's good. Any publicity is good publicity. And the losses that they've taken on Star Wars over the years have been evidence to the contrary.
So you have this character, Luke Skywalker, that the fans have been waiting decades to see again on the big screen, and you introduce him, and he's a loser and a jerk, and you don't like him. And
yeah,
that's it.
I was watching a very
childhood hero.
I was watching a very interesting commentary on. It was focused on the Timothy Zahn trilogy, but it was doing so by comparison to the sequel trilogy. You know, the road not taken kind of a thing. And this YouTuber was giving an incredibly large amount of deference to Disney, giving them the best possible assumption that they were just trying to be careful, that they didn't want to rock the boat, that since there were so many fans that didn't like the prequels, they didn't want to, so that's why they kind of recycled and redid everything. But in so doing, they take away all the character development for the established characters. They strip out all the political stuff to make it completely nonsensical. The entire universe is, overturned, and the Empire is gone, and the rebellion is gone, and there's all complete chaos. So now we have completely new everything, and it's all completely falling apart. And you're like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely zero sense. Whereas if you look at the Timothy Zahn, you don't see Luke Skywalker as some, has been, hermit. What you see is and reverting, right, and giving up all of his earned experience. Instead, he's got all this experience, and now he also has all this responsibility on his shoulders. And there's a over conservativeness to him, an almost fear of going forward,
right,
and him having to learn how to be. Well, not only to basically surpass Obi-Wan, but now he's got to look at being Yoda, but recognizing that Yoda made mistakes. So he's very concerned and very trepidatious.
Yes.
Going like where no Jedi has gone before, in a sense, right?
Well, that's for
Leia, right. You've got Leia, yes, and a continuation of his maturity, not a regression and starting over again.
Like going,
right?
It's nihilism. Oh, were the Jedi really any better than the Sith and all this other nonsense he said in the movie? It's like, no.
And yet, but you can kind of explore that through him, right? And have him say, I'm going to forge a different path, while still, training the next generation. You still have this as a handing it over to the next generation, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear when you watch the end of Force Awakens that there was going to be a time that it was written to basically saying there'd be a time gap between this movie and the next movie, because you have Finn, he's like in a coma, right? Because he gets damaged trying to protect Rey. You have Rey going to Luke Skywalker, assuming that he'll be that she will train her to be a Jedi over the next couple of years, and then it would pick up a couple of years later. And the First Order took a lot of damage with that base getting blown up, so I assumed we were gonna have a time jump like between the original Star Wars and Empire, right? And that
you assume that,
and then Rian Johnson does it like 2 hours later. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, you assume that there'd be basic storytelling and logical, and you don't get that. And unfortunately, what you get, as Lynn points out, sequel trilogy, and it's 50 years later rather than 25. So you got all this time in between, and you're like, what the hell has happened in the past 50 years? And just questions keep mounting up and mounting up and mounting up to the point where people go, fuck, I don't care anymore.
I still don't know what planet got blown up in The Force Awakens by the Star Killer base or whatever.
And why it matters.
I thought it was Coruscant. I thought it was Coruscant at the beginning. I'm like, is that Coruscant? And they never said what planet got blown up.
And how did Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber get found? And what happened to Luke's hand? And all of these other things that, were explained in Heir to the Empire, just saying,
Well, yeah, there was a wonderful critique of this movie by, and I think it was Entertainment Tonight, but it was a Canadian Entertainment Tonight, where this guy went on a rant saying, and this was a guy coming from a guy that was in support of Disney Star Wars, and he liked The Force Awakens, but then he gets this thing, he's like, no, there's stuff set up that you didn't cover, and he just...
Well, that's the other thing, too. You look at both the prequel and the original trilogy, you have a true trilogy where you have a story arc. You may or may not like the prequel, but at least it's a consistent story that makes sense Yeah, there's still plot holes, but it's very clear that it was planned out from the beginning. Definitely true with the original, which is kind of ironic considering you get a standalone movie in Star Wars. There didn't have to be 2 sequels to it, but they still work perfectly. Go. Let's look at another trilogy by a different filmmaker. Back to the Future. You got a trilogy there that's kind of like the original trilogy of Star Wars, where you've got a first movie that stands on its own. You really don't need any sequels, but they did 2 sequels that make for great story arcs. All of the characters make sense in their development. The progression of the story makes sense. This, even put aside the fact that these are Star Wars movies with a history before them, you've got 3 movies in a trilogy that don't even fit together with each other. You literally
they don't.
You have J.J. Abrams lay down basically a retelling of Star Wars. Okay, fine. Then you got Rian Johnson coming in and trashing everything the guy before him did, kind of giving the middle finger to everybody, both behind the camera and in front of the camera. And then you got J.J. Abrams coming in trying to fix the crap that Rian Johnson did. And I'm not, trying to run interference for JJ. He's a moron, but he did the best he could with that last movie after what he was left with.
Rian Johnson said years ago that he wants half his audience to hate his works. This take is common to postmodernist artists. The more noise you create with your art, the better the art. This is not some indie movie you're making. This is a major blockbuster that's created to sell merchandise and also theme park tickets. This is supposed to be a
postmodern, as much noise as possible. Exactly. I think the next series of Star Wars movies should be written by Yoko Ono, for crying out loud.
The Fly, yes.
Sequels are not canon, period. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
If you ever watch, not to get off topic, but there's a video clip of John Lennon performing with Chuck Berry, 2 legendary rock and rollers, right? And then Yoko Ono keeps interrupting the song with her weird yelling or something, and you see Chuck Berry's face, and he's getting pissed. He is getting angry, and I'm with him. It's like I'm doing something with your husband, and you're screaming your nonsense.
Well, and that. For any fans that have looked at that, they look at that and they're like, she's the reason the Beatles broke up. I don't care what you say or what other elements there were to it. She was a problem. She was a troublemaker, and she pretty much ruined everything she touched. So, and that's Rian Johnson too.
We're not done yet. I have to read something else by him. Sorry.
Oh, wonderful.
Johnson continues comments on The Last Jedi by equating its handling of Star Wars lore with how he has attempted to carefully handle the subject of religion in the upcoming Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out mystery. People who are raised outside of faith sometimes think it's this touchy thing that you have to handle with kid gloves, he said. I grew up very Christian. It was a very personal thing for me. I'm not a believer anymore. I'm no longer a Christian, but when I was... You're constantly rattling the box for yourself. You're constantly being offended by things. But then it's not like that just shuts off the real world and how it challenges your beliefs. It's just like being a Star Wars fan and seeing a twist where you're like, oh God, that doesn't make me feel great because it's not what I expected, he says. As a Christian, the world is constantly throwing that at you. It's just your daily life. Assimilating that is how you grow. That's part of the purpose of both fandom and religion.
Comparing a fictional series to a religion, he can go F himself. He really can. Because there are completely different rules involved here.
It's only alive when it's interacting with the world. What is he talking about? The Amish don't interact with the world. Their religion's alive. I don't know what he's talking about. I just...
Well, look, I mean, trying to read any kind of meaning into the dumb crap that he's saying, I mean, his work speaks for itself. He is a failure in terms of Star Wars. That by every measure, So anything he says is pure copium on his part.
Yeah, it's just I thought this was important though, but I cut it last week because I'm like, do I want to give this man attention? But at the same time, I have to know what's going on. What is the reasoning behind just blowing up the franchise? I didn't understand this.
Because he's a troll. Because he is a troll, and he has zero respect for fans of Star Wars, and he likes to piss people off.
No,
he's an asshole, is what he
grew
is.
up as a fan of Star Wars.
Just like Leslie Headland. What's your favorite Star Wars? I love all of the Star Wars.
No, she doesn't. She went on record as hating the prequels.
Yeah, but anyone who even makes a comment like I love all of the Star Wars is, that tells you everything you need to know about the moron.
Anyway, there was no picture with this article, so I just provided the Luke with the...
No, that's a perfect picture. That perfectly represents anything Rian Johnson related.
This wouldn't be on a good old days because it's not the good old days, but I remember when I saw this in the theater. Here is my thoughts. When I saw Force Awakens, I thought, okay, Abrams is playing it safe. He's doing his... Look, we got to get back to being able to sell toys and action figures to the kids. I mean, it was serviceable. I didn't think it was great. Han dies. I know that got a lot of people angry, but let's be honest. I expected that to happen. I expected someone from the original cast was going to get killed. And Han was the most logical choice. They're going to kill off Han because they're not going to kill off Leia and they're not going to kill off Luke. So they're going to kill off Han.
Right.
And then, not that they had to do that. They didn't. But I just figured that seems to be a trend and then we get I didn't like the fake out with Rey because I kept thinking Finn was the one with the Force, and then they switched it around on you, and I'm like, well, that came out of nowhere. And I kept thinking Rey was going to be some kind of cloning project or something to make an ultimate Force user. That's why she knew how to fly.
Again, every time the fans have a fan theory, it tells you that they are more intelligent and have better ideas than what these morons in Hollywood are actually doing.
Yes.
Well, that's the whole thing, is they never listen to the fans, and the fans are like, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want. We're telling you.
See, that's where you're mistaken. They listen and do the opposite because they have such contempt for the fans. They purposely want to do the things that piss off the fans and drive them away.
Isn't that just Disney?
It's all of the postmodernist entertainment industry now.
Well, they have to figure out a way to ruin Gundam, okay? First, I might argue Gundam see that already, but anyway, okay, no, I'm kidding. Gundam is another beast, but yeah, that's Netflix is doing Gundam movies apparently. So, is Netflix still doing them, or is it going to somebody else?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
We did an article months back. I forgot what I read because I don't know. These things take too long to come out now. All right, now we move on to James Cameron, a true artist. I'm sorry. I think of what's happened to the Terminator movies.
Mm-hmm.
He promoted the heck out of Terminator Genesis. I don't know if it's called Genesis. I always pronounce it Genesis because it had a Y.
I'm good with that. It makes.
And I thought it was stupid that they put a Y in it. Okay, why are you putting a Y in the word Genesis? So I'm just going to call it
They don't know how to spell.
Yeah, probably, or they can't copyright.
No, they were trying to be clever. They purposely,
not clever at all.
But we look at that and go, that just tells us, because after you've seen the movie, you're like, yeah, the movie is just as bad as your spelling. So,
So here we go. James Cameron's remake of 59-year-old sci-fi classic gets exciting update. James Cameron offers a promising update on one of his forthcoming projects, a remake of the 59-year-old sci-fi classic Fantastic Voyage. I think this makes sense because that's a Fawkes property, which Disney now owns. The 71-year-old filmmaker just theatrically released his latest movie, Avatar: Fire and Ash, the sequel to 2009's Avatar and 2022's Avatar: The Way of Water. But Cameron still has more planned, oscillating between directing and producing. Released in 1966 and directed by Richard Fleischer, Soylent Green, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Fantastic Voyage follows an intrepid crew who are shrunk inside a submarine so they can journey into a scientist's bloodstream to attempt to save him from a blood clot. Fantastic Voyage stars Stephen Boyd, Raquel Welch, Eben O'Brien, Donald Pleasance, and Arthur Kennedy. I mean, that's a cast right there.
Yeah.
Classic cast. Who are you going to get to replace Raquel Welch? Ariana Grande. They'll just throw Ariana Grande in there just to bug me. Okay. Cameron's remake of Fantastic Voyage has been gestating since the early 2000s at least, but says he's been actively working on it right now. You know what kills me? Fantastic Voyage could be remade, especially with how medicine has advanced so much over the decades. They could probably do something with this, but I don't trust Cameron. That's my problem with this. But what do you think?
Why are we doing sequels? I mean, remakes. I don't understand it.
Because
and especially Cameron. He has always prided himself on doing original things. If you're going and doing remakes, then just retire, man. Just retire already.
I'd rather rewatch Inner Space. I forgot about Inner Space.
It's basically a comedic retelling of the same story.
We just watched that one too.
Yeah, we did.
Ariana is no Raquel, you don't say. That's my point. I was trying to think who's the anti-Raquel they would throw in this thing, or maybe Kristen Stewart. That would be.
No. What's not Ariana Grande? The other one from Wicked. What's her name?
Oh, Cynthia Erivo. Yeah, they'll throw.
Yeah,
her in
that would be it. That's who they'll choose. That's who.
Well, she could be in the Arthur Kennedy role.
Yeah.
Arthur Kennedy's funny. He's in one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, also known as The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. And he plays an Irish-American cop, somehow promoted to detective in the English countryside in the early 70s. Don't ask me how that happened, but he has wonderful lines in that movie. Like, he goes, the one guy says, because the zombie kills somebody, but they think it was a murder. So the one hippie guy says, "Look, man, I had nothing to do with this." And he says, "It's a funny thing, whenever there's been a murder, no one ever had anything to do with it." You don't find that funny?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. All right. Agent Boomer, is James Cameron finally done with his blue? No. I should have found the article. I read an article this week. No, he's going to make them as long as he can because he believes in the message. And he says, as long as I'm making these movies, the message will get out, which I guess is about conservation or environmentalism or something. So, about how Americans are bad.
Yeah. That's the way it goes now. Let's face it. Americans are bad. White people are bad. Men are bad.
Well, the funny thing is, you said stop with the remakes, and some people argued, well, wait a minute, this latest Avatar movie, what's different this time around from the last movie? It's like the same thing. Like the characters all got reset to where they were, and they didn't learn anything, and now they're doing the same thing over and over again. Okay. That's why with Michael French.
I watched the second Avatar movie, and it's like, okay, it was okay.
Okay.
But then when they said there was a third one, I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
The only thing interesting about the third one is apparently it has one of the blue aliens is also evil, like from another tribe, but that there's a bad tribe of them out there. So, I don't know. I guess the fire tribe, do they have different elements? Is that how they're set up? I don't know. I didn't see the last one. Last one was the water tribe, right? That was.
I saw the first one begrudgingly. I've had no interest in seeing any of the others, to be honest.
Avatar is just Dances with Wolves. I've heard that. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Billy Idol.
Yeah, you're a fan, right?
I am. I don't want to spoil Friday, but he might show up on Friday. I'm just saying. 80s rock icon 70 announced as 2026 rock headliner at Popular Music Festival. Yes, Billy Idol was already on the books for 2026. The 80s rock legend 70 has been announced as the rock headliner for Lakefront Music Fest in Prior Lake, Minnesota, where he's scheduled to perform on Friday, July 10th, 2026. Does this man take breaks? He's on tour all year.
I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that he's at that stage in his life where he's like, I don't have a lot of time. I don't have time to stop and take it slow. I need to get everything done I want to get done.
Gotcha. The festival confirmed Idol on its site and promotional materials, which also lists the event as a 2-night fundraiser with Keith Urban topping the country lineup the following evening on July 11th. They must have maybe they have a rock and roll night and a country night the next night. Lakefront Music Fest is held at Lakefront Park and bills itself as a private fundraising event that brings in national acts for a weekend of live music. Organizers note the tickets for the 2026 edition are already on sale, which gives fans plenty of time to plan a summer trip built around Idol's set and the rest of the Rock Night lineup, which includes Jefferson Starship.
Nice.
With more of the acts still to be announced. The Lakefront booking comes during a busy sketch for Idol. He also released a new tour recap video this month that highlights performances from his 2025 run and showcases several songs from Dream Into It. And in April 2025, released Dream Into It, his 9th studio album and first full-length set of new material in more than 10 years. The record arrived on Dark Horse Records and BMG and features contributions from longtime guitarist Steve Stevens and longtime guest Avril Lavigne, Alison Mosshart, and Joan Jett. Look at that. And she was on tour with him, too, over the summer. So good for Billy Idol. We have another article here, too. You know who's also is touring right now? Styx.
Oh, nice.
I was angry though with last year Devo. They didn't come to Florida.
Oh.
They were also touring, but they didn't come to Florida. I think it was going to be their final tour too. But oh well. Look, that's him from the live show. That's sort of what I saw. Well, from a great distance, obviously, because I didn't get the close seats. But we weren't horribly far back either. We were somewhere in the middle. But yeah. So Billy Idol has released a music video for Too Much Fun, which features clips from his 2025 tour. The footage captures performances at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, Bridgestone Arena, Budweiser Stage, Wembley, OVO Arena, Madison Square Garden, Red Rocks, Greek Theater, and the Forum. The rocker wrapped up his tour with a show on November 30th in Mexico City. Too Much Fun appeared on the musician's 9th studio album, Dream Into It. Dark Horse and BMG released in April. This marked the first full-length album for the... Yeah, I already read that. Okay, for the last article. But the punk rock icon doesn't have any tour dates scheduled for 2026. His 2025 run took him across North America and Europe before ending in Mexico. Interesting. Okay, I didn't realize he was in Europe, too. That's interesting. Okay. But good on him. But like I said, he will be at the lakefront next year if you're in the area and want to go see that. So, yeah. And who knows? Maybe next year I'll be doing more stuff on music because Lord knows Hollywood is falling apart on me. This is not good.
No doubt.
I'm terrified at this Netflix deal.
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope that it doesn't happen.
It's like the worst case scenario of a bad scenario, period. But that is the worst case scenario right there.
It sure is.
All right, moving on to... This isn't from the actual theme park. I don't know where this picture came from. I found it online. You like that? Dracula's Haunted Castle?
I do.
I want to know where this is, man, because, like, look at that. And if you look at the sign up top, there's Burger King up ahead, too. You got everything here. Look at that. You got a big maze.
Is that real or is that...
This is apparently a real place. I should have looked up where it is. But what the article is about something else, though. World's largest vampire-themed attraction planned for Bucharest. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. The world's first and largest Dracula theme park is being planned for Bucharest, in Bucharest, Romania. The 875 million euro venture will offer an immersive experience across 6 unique areas, including 40 attractions, blending adventure, storytelling, and world-class entertainment for all ages. The park will be home to 6 different lands. Transylvania will include roller coasters, a traditional village and forest, while Dracula's castle will be the site of the fictional vampire's home, complete with ruins, a maze, a lake, and a bat coaster. In the Family Kingdom, a diverse range of vampire and supernatural creatures from global cultures will reside. Elsewhere, a London town zone promises to bring dark allure of Victorian London. Oh, I get it. The London town would be when Dracula was in London in the book, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It includes vampire hunting parkour and obstacle course, a ship swing globe theater, lake boats, and a horse and carriage track ride. And the port of New Orleans, Nolans, will feature a roller coaster race with howling werewolves and Mardi Gras carnival games. Is the New Orleans in there because of Interview with the Vampire?
Could be.
I mean, it is the most gothic American city, so I guess that makes sense. And artists, Dracula Land will also have its own metaverse with visitors able to use Dracula coin tokens in both digital and physical worlds. Bram Stoker's classic novel Dracula was set partially in Romania's Carpathian Mountains, hence the country's long association with the vampire. The writer researched traditional European folklore as a basis for the character. The 780,000 square meter attraction, which also includes retail and dining offerings, will be situated 20 minutes from Bucharest city center and 50 minutes from Bucharest Henry Coandi International Airport. Theme park forms part of a major development featuring 3 Dracula-themed hotels, offering around 1,200 rooms. Apparently, though, the moniker on the front is you can check in, but you may never check out. It's a joke. I'm sorry. You imagine you get in there, there's an actual vampire at the front desk. And then you wake up in the morning with a big gash on your arm and like blood trickling out. I'm kidding.
Boy, my throat is sore, and you look in the mirror and you're kind of seeing through yourself a little bit, but you see like 2 dots on your neck.
You know what the funny thing is? People would pay for that.
True.
Man, I got bit by a vampire. It's like, okay. The theme park forms part of a major development. Okay, the hotels. Development also include an aqua park, thermal spa, a racing track, a motor park, a luxury shopping outlet, and 22,500 seat arena suitable for concerts, festivals, and events. Romania, what are you doing?
Right.
You're supposed to be the creepy old country, not a tourist attraction. Okay. Go ahead.
Look, what else do they have though to lay claim to? This is one of their heroes, right?
Yes. I mean, it looks like. It sounds very ambitious. I'm going to keep an eye on this, see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. For me, Dracula Land is a national project, a symbol of Romania can and must build landmarks, not just buildings or simple real estate projects, said Dragos Dobrescu, founder of Dracula Land, in a statement. I'm sure he's not a vampire. Okay?
Yeah.
Though, funny enough, we only have meetings with him at night. I'm sorry. Dragos Dobrescu. I'm sorry. I know, I'm being culturally insensitive. It just sounds like a vampire name or a Bond villain name. I'm just saying. But, wait a minute. Thumb up the show. Wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry. I got lost in my track of thought. Y'all excited for the Vampire Land? Come on. What are you talking about Netflix deal for? Okay, Troy. Okay, I just came back and I see a vampire theme park with a Burger King sign.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh, that's in Niagara Falls, and my family has been there. So that is in Niagara Falls. I'm excited.
Yeah. So this was the thing that I wanted to point out. This is not the one that we're talking about. That's going to be in Bucharest. The one in Bucharest is probably might have its level of kitsch, but I think it's going to be much more pro Dracula, because Dracula is kind of a hero in that country.
Well, he is,
from a certain perspective, he should be, because he literally was responsible for keeping the invading Turks out of Christendom, basically.
What was it? The Ottoman Empire at that point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Who were, I think, allied with another country during.
And when you look at his history, he had a literally tortured history. So he was. It was a very personal battle for him. This is the kind of movie I want to see them do. You know, a real historical drama on Dracula.
Yeah, no, that would be interesting. I'd like to see that as well. But yeah. So there you go. There's your. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. This reminds me of an art class project I did for college where everyone comes up with a theme park by using any media, and I used drawing, painting models, and just a Jurassic Park theme. Well, they kind of made that with the recent Universal parks, didn't they?
Yeah, kind of.
What would I do a theme park on? It'd probably be based on Italian horror movies or something. You'd have different sections, you know.
There you go.
You'd have the witch, like the ballet academy with the witches. That'd be one area. Never mind. I'm just Zombie Island would be another area. Just a zombie theme park in general. I don't know why they haven't done that.
gosh, that could be really cool. You know,
They do sort of do stuff with like with Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, where they have like they'll do stuff based on Walking Dead or something else. You know,
yeah.
I wonder if this past fall, if they did that 28 years later, they probably did something.
You know,
else.
I always thought that what would be a lot of fun would be a zombie take on the laser tag, right? Where you are in a fend off all the zombies, right? The zombies are all staff people, and they're wearing, although you probably wouldn't be able to see it, they'd have to make it look like it blends into their outfit. Whatever sensors pick up the infrared from whatever you're shooting at them, and they got little earbuds that tell them when they're hit, so that they know to go down.
Oh, okay, yeah, that could work.
That would be really cool. That could be really, really cool.
I'm surprised no one's tried that.
Yeah. Well, the idea is out there, folks. Anyone that does that, yours free and clear. I lay no claim to the idea.
Yes.
Just do it.
By the way, you know that Tasting History guy? Have you seen him?
Yeah,
Max Miller. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he did a whole special on he was trying to do recipes from the book Dracula.
Oh yeah, he did a paprikash
chicken
based. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to try it. It sounded really good.
Because it was mentioned in because I remember reading the book how he kept talking about all the dishes he was eating and how he was going to send the recipe to Nina. Remember the recipe for Nina? She'd probably like to try this at home. Yeah, but yeah, because there we go. Okay, so keep an eye on this theme park, Dracula Land. All right, so the cultural works becoming public domain in 2026 from Betty Boop to Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Prediction: there will be a slasher movie featuring Betty Boop. Prediction: there will be a slasher movie featuring Nancy Drew as the slasher, because that's all they do. All right. The cultural. Okay, so a new year means a new parade of classic characters and works entering the public domain. Under United States law, the copyright on thousands of creations from 1930, including films, books, musical compositions, and more, will expire at the stroke of midnight, January 1st, 2026, meaning they will be free to use, share, and adapt after nearly a century.
Yeah. Now, see, this is, every year we get a new list of things that are coming out in the public domain, and we always have to have a little minor discussion about what that actually means. But what I do want to mention is it used to be that Disney was known for taking public domain properties, making it their own, and making them the new cultural zeitgeist for what those were. When you hear Snow White, you don't think of the old German folklore. You think of, the cartoon that Disney did, which was their first feature-length animated feature.
Yes.
Or you think about the horrible abortion of a film that they did in live action last year. Whatever.
Well, it's funny because Harlan Ellison, he went on a rant one of his videos where he brings out a comic book and says, Walt Disney is the Three Musketeers. No, Walt Disney did not write the Three Musketeers. That was Alexander Dumas.
Right. Yes. Exactly right. Exactly right. But you do have to say, when you're talking specifically about a Disney version of something, Disney's Snow White,
right?
Disney's Sleeping Beauty,
Disney's
and
Aladdin.
Yes, you can say, well, that's originally folklore from such and such country. Yes, but now this movie was made by Disney, and it has trademarks within it, specific representations of these characters. Sometimes, as you pointed out with Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, an original character that is specifically Disney's, right? Now, when we get to this idea of these horror, what do you call horror parodies is what they really are of these
Popeye the Slayer Man,
and all these other ones. True. I just wish that somebody would take these properties, since they are public domain, and do something good with them. I could see someone picking up Nancy Drew now and starting a whole series of either streaming, a streaming series or a series of movies based on Nancy Drew now.
Yes.
That would be brilliant if they did that, right?
Yeah, they tried doing a movie series with her years ago. I think Julia Roberts' niece was in them. But yeah, I don't know if it really took off.
And they literally, because the books are going into the public domain, you could literally do, film adaptations of the books, or, streaming adaptations of the books.
Yes. But I think this is my favorite crop of works yet, which is saying a lot, says Jennifer Jenkins, the director of Duke University's Law School Center for the Study of Public Domain, which has compiled an annual list of public domain entrants over the decade. This year's treasure trove features famous faces like the original Betty Boop, whose iconic hoop earrings originally took the form of floppy dog ears, and the initial version of Disney's Pluto, who first went by the name Rover.
Right.
So they can't call him Pluto yet. If you do your you have to call him Rover.
True.
That's not only exciting in itself, but it's really an opportunity to look back at the history of these two incredible animation studios, Fleischer and Disney, and how their styles are imprinted in the DNA of today's cartoons, Jenkins says. That's just a fun rabbit hole. Is that a pun intended because of Bugs Bunny? But okay, I don't know.
Well, the other thing I want to point out is you bringing up Popeye the Slayer Man. And that's specifically because Popeye went into the public domain, what was it, a couple of years ago?
It was last year. They waste no time making these movies, I think. Yes.
But it was the same cartoon company that did Betty Boop, and that's why you have crossovers between Betty Boop and Popeye. So I would love to see a movie that incorporates both characters.
Interesting, yeah. Well, yeah, that'd be good instead of not having them kill people, right?
Yep.
Literary highlights include William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying, the full version of Dashiell Hammett's The Maltese Falcon. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You could, okay. Is that Sam Spade in that movie, as I recall? The character Sam Spade?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I saw Connie said, I remember Nancy Drew Hardy Boys series ages ago. I remember Pamela Sue Martin, who played Nancy Drew, appearing in Playboy.
Oh, I did not know that.
That is not public domain.
Waddy Piper's The Little Engine That Could, the first 4 books in the Nancy Drew detective series. Dude, you got 4 movies you can make right there. Okay.
That's right.
And The Murder at the Vicarage, Agatha Christie's first Miss Marple mystery, which means Miss Marple, at least the character, is now public domain now, right?
Right. And so some movie company could start doing a movie series based on Miss Marple.
Young Miss
the
Marple.
Books, just literally adapting the books. You can absolutely do that. Also, if Disney was still Disney, they would be taking something like The Little Engine That Could and making their own Disney short, that they would play before some other feature-length film, and make that a bit of a draw. But they're not an animation studio anymore, so screw them, whatever.
Well, they do their stuff like Zootopia,
right?
The movie selection spans war stories, musicals, thrillers, westerns, comedies, and more, including from directors including Alfred Hitchcock, Howard Hughes, and Salvador Dali. Among them are All Quiet on the Western Front, Animal Crackers starring the Marx Brothers, 1931 Best Picture winner Cimarron, and 2 Marlene Dietrich films, Morocco and The Blue Angel. So I'll say, if there is a silver lining to, unfortunately, these terrifying times we're living in, where Netflix is or other companies could buy Warner Brothers, some of those movies may eventually just become public domain, and then someone who cares about them can restore them and put them out, right? So,
yeah.
Several movies on the list feature stars of their early days: Bing Crosby's first feature-length appearance in King of Jazz, Greta Garbo's first talkie in Annie Christie, and The Big Trail, and John Wayne's first leading role. Notably, Jenkins says the films on this year's list all predate the Hays Code. We mentioned that earlier. Because of the Bardot thing. A set of self-imposed studio guidelines that ban subjects from profanity, violence, and nudity to interracial relationships and quote-unquote lustful kissing in movies from 1934 to 1968. The musical compositions include Georgia on My Mind, Dream a Little Dream, 4 songs by Ira and George Gershwin, I Got Rhythm, I've Got a Crush on You, But Not for Me, and Embraceable You. This means you can sing I Got Rhythm on your stream whenever you want.
Well, this is where we gotta talk about copyright.
Yes.
You have to remember that if you're using backing tracks, whoever put out that music, that version of the music, can lay claim to the.
But
the
if you just
music that
sang
they
it
use.
without the music, you'd be fine.
Yeah, if you sing it a cappella, there's nothing they can
Okay.
say that anyone can say about it. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious about this. So there's some interesting stuff here. Betty Boop. Let me see here. What else is here? As a matter of fact, the Betty Boop horror movie is already in the works. Why?
It doesn't surprise me.
Hi.
Does not surprise me.
It'd be funny if she was the final girl.
She should be.
Instead of
She
being
really
her being
should
the
be.
monster, have her be like evil Popeyes coming after. No, maybe you mentioned that earlier. But a Minnie Mouse slasher is due for release in 2026. Really?
I guess.
The new adaptations think West Side Story drawn from Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Percival. Oh, not all adaptations have to be dark. Think West Side Story. Okay, sorry. Public domain isn't just good news for those who want to create art, but for those who simply want to consume it. It goes well beyond creativity to availability to preservation to being able to use things freely in school. Why is public domain also good for artists? Let's see if you know this. Because if studios can't rely on their IPs, just using the same IP over and over again, they're forced to create new IP.
Well,
right?
that is true.
And that
That's
helps
right,
the
yeah.
artists, the writers,
and here's the other thing too.
Yes.
The idea behind copyright in the first place was meant to be so that the creator, the actual artist,
Yes.
could financially benefit from them, not some big corporate conglomerate to continue to make money off of it in perpetuity.
Yes. So, yeah. Plus, what the heck has Disney even done with Mickey Mouse in recent years? So if a bot, they haven't gotten this. Well, there are many unresolved questions around AI and intellectual property. Jenkins says one thing is clear: human authorship is a requisite for copyright. So if a bot writes your Boop musical, don't expect it to be protected. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they even have to mention that. I thought everyone kind of knew that at this point.
Nobody knows enough about this AI. I think people are confused by it right now. But I don't know. It's kind of exciting, though. Betty Boop now public domain. Remember,
Yeah,
she was a flapper, correct?
Yep.
As I
exactly.
recall.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
she was in Roger Rabbit. Remember, she was stuck
So
in black and white.
speaking of which,
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank, and I know that if deleted scenes or Big Al is here, actually a number of people are good for this. The actress who played Grandma in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, she's the same one that did the voice of Betty Boop.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really?
Yep.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's it. That's all the
That's it.
stories for
It's
tonight.
a short one.
We're ending early, but I guess that's not the end of the world, right?
Yep.
'Cause like
And
I said,
speaking of
it's-
speaking of ending early, do we have deleted scenes late night to forward people to? I'm not seeing it.
Let me double check. But we can talk about things going on this week. Now, this Friday, I did want to point something out. I know I'm skipping the Friday already, but we are going to do our winners and losers of 2025 and our predictions for the new year, or maybe something we're looking forward to.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we need to limit ourselves in the losers of 2025 to like, I don't know, 25 or less.
It's
I mean,
been
there was a
so
lot
bad
of
this
losers
year.
this year.
It's been so.
Yeah.
I already know who's at the top of my list. It's probably at the top of your list too. I'm just flabbergasted. And I found myself earlier this week trying to come up with a winner, and I was getting angry because I'm like, if I'm thinking of Hollywood, you guys totally screwed the pooch this year. Nothing has impressed me.
I have at least one, in quotes, winner that I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me on. A lot of the channels that I am a huge fan of out there, just have the opposite opinion from me, and that's okay. I hope. I hope you'll forgive me for having a different opinion.
Agree.
Yeah. I've kind of explained my reason why I don't think it's as bad as people think it is, but and why I enjoyed it. Shouldn't have to justify why I enjoyed something, but
You can enjoy something; it's fine.
Exactly.
Anyway, we don't cancel you for enjoying things, even if others aren't. Okay,
But Deleted Scenes says no, not tonight. So there is no reserved seats over on Deleted Scenes.
Darn it, we ended early. Oh well.
There's nothing wrong with that. Give you your time back and give you a chance to get ready for the rest of the week. What do we got coming up this week, my friend?
So tomorrow night on your channel, what's going on?
So tomorrow, I did not get a poll up. However, I have a very interesting recommendation for a film called Strange Days. This is from, was this just last year? No. This, I guess, is an older one. This is from 1995.
Oh, as your New Year's movie. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
That's
so
like a future serial killer, and Ray Fiennes is trying to catch him, right? As I recall.
And it all centers on New Year's Eve. So I'm gonna be jumping on that one. It'll be interesting.
And Whitney Houston's in that, as I recall, right? Oh, no, Angela Bassett. My mistake. Angela Bassett.
Yeah, no, if Whitney Houston was in it, I might have changed my mind about it.
Angela Bassett.
But that is my members' night at the movies. So if you're not a member, remember that membership is as little as $2 a month. I am trying to reach 100 members by the end of the year. I'm really within spitting distance of that number. I'm almost there. I am almost there. There will be a big push for it on New Year's Eve, which we're getting to in just a moment. So consider becoming a member. But that's Members Night at the Movie. And of course, every weekday at noon Central, that's 1 Eastern, Liquid Lunch on my channel. If you are wherever you are out and about, just take your lunchtime, come join us. Different topic every day.
Yes, it's a really cool show. And you have your different categories each day too. And Netter, what about you on Thursday? What do you got going on?
Well, on Thursday, I'm trying to line up a guest, but if he can't make it, then it's going to be just me and Troy, and y'all just shooting the breeze and talking about
the new year. Yeah.
If we have any plans and that sort of thing.
Right.
Of course, Tuesday I have my regular
Sherlock Holmes.
Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The first episode of season 2, The Copper Beaches. Let's see. Wednesday night, of course, is New Year's Eve. So it is very possible that I will be doing something for New Year's Eve, probably starting at 10 p.m. Central Time. Doing an hour chat with everyone leading up to a countdown to midnight Eastern Time. And then continuing on for another hour, countdown to midnight here in Chicago.
Very cool.
So look for a last call special on Wednesday night. If you're not doing anything, Boomer, and you want to join me, you certainly can.
We'll see.
And that goes for my VIP members as well. If you guys want to come join me in the studio, feel free. Let's see. That's Wednesday, Thursday, of course. Thursday things on Netters Network. You already mentioned Friday, last call, but you're doing something else on Friday, are you not?
Yes, I will be on with Big Al of Big Al Presents, and I think we're going to be doing our rewatch of 2 more episodes of Robin of Sherwood. So be sure to tune into that. With Jacen Connery, Sean Connery's son.
Awesome.
I mean, he'll be on the show, not in the studio with us.
Well,
okay. He's welcome if he wants to pop in, though. I'm not going to, kick him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then Saturday, do we remember what the film is for Big Al Presents Films with Friends? Big Al or Deleted, if you're in the audience, you guys probably remember. I'm drawing a blank. I know it was one that I was kind of looking forward to, but I just don't remember.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
I can look it up for you real quick if you'd like. Give me a moment here.
Thank you so much, Wallace Lang. I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying that. And I should probably also take this opportunity to mention that next Sunday, oh yes, Pan's Labyrinth on Saturday on Big Al Presents. Next week, Sunday.
Yes, that's it.
After Geeky Geezers, of course, we'll forward you on to deleted scenes for his reserved seats, and then after reserved seats, I'm going to be starting a new late night stream overnight on Sundays, starting with the very first episode. We're going back to the beginning. Doctor Who, William Hartnell. We're going back to the beginning and watching it. You know, I realize this is many years of Doctor Who. Of course, if I still have a channel by the time we get to the 11th Doctor and 12th Doctor, that's where we'll end it off. I won't be going any farther than the 12th Doctor. So
no, I understand.
That's where Doctor Who ends. He had 12 regenerations, or he had 12 regenerations, and that's it. So
Moffat screwed up the numbering anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I was actually going to forgive him on the War Doctor, and then he threw in another one, and I'm like, you're just messing with the audience at this point.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
because at least you showed the War Doctor on screen,
right?
And, we got to meet him for that special. So okay, there was a hidden Doctor. I'll accept it, and then he screwed it up again. Because at least you could put a face. And then, Tennant regenerated twice or some nonsense. That
Tennant being taking the slot of 2 doctors, because he wanted to wrap up how many doctors there were and make the idea of
that wasn't his. No, I'm sorry. That was not his right to do.
Well, when you're the showrunner at at a certain time, you were put in charge of it, so I guess he gets the right to do it.
Don't get me started.
But when someone else took over after him and nobody liked what was being done, the audience decided that it ended. So
right. Still need to start watching Trial of a Time Lord. Yeah, well, that's
it'll be a while before we get to it, but eventually I'll end up doing it. Yeah.
All right. So y'all have a good week. Again, Merry Christmas. We're still in the Christmas season, and Happy New Year. All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.